What if I told you there's a place on Earth where mountains seem to float above the clouds, where enormous stone pillars rise from deep green forests, and where the landscape looks almost too incredible to be real? This is Zhangjiajie in China's Hunan province. At first glance, it's easy to understand why so many people compare these mountains to the world of Avatar. But the incredible part is this: these mountains are not a movie creation. They're real. Across the Wulingyuan landscape, thousands of tall sandstone pillars rise dramatically from the forest, creating a landscape unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. Some of these formations tower hundreds of meters above the valleys below. As clouds and mist move between the peaks, the landscape constantly changes. One moment, you can see layer after layer of mountains stretching into the distance, and the next, the mist begins to swallow everything around them. And that's what makes Zhangjiajie so fascinating. It doesn't feel like you're simply looking at a mountain range. It feels like you've stepped into another world.
But seeing Zhangjiajie from the ground is only part of the experience. For many visitors, the journey itself becomes part of the adventure. Cable cars carry passengers high above the valleys, revealing a completely different perspective of the mountains below. As the cabin moves higher, forests, cliffs, and winding roads gradually become smaller, while the enormous stone peaks begin to dominate the horizon. And then there is Tianmen Mountain, a completely different part of Zhangjiajie, famous for one of the most extraordinary natural openings in the region, Tianmen Cave, better known as Heaven's Gate. The enormous natural arch cuts directly through the mountain, creating the impression of a giant doorway opening into the sky. Visitors can climb the famous 999 steps toward the arch, and from above, the surrounding landscape seems to stretch endlessly into the distance. Standing there, surrounded by cliffs, clouds, and mountains, it's easy to understand why this place has become one of China's most recognizable natural destinations. And perhaps the most remarkable part is that thousands of people come here every year simply to stand in front of these landscapes and take in the view for themselves.
But Zhangjiajie isn't only about enormous mountains. There is another side of this region, one shaped by people, culture, and everyday life. Beyond the dramatic peaks and tourist viewpoints, the surrounding communities offer a completely different atmosphere. Rivers, traditional architecture, narrow streets, and local cultural life create a contrast with the towering landscapes nearby. It's a reminder that Zhangjiajie is not just a destination built around scenery, it's a living region. And then there's the wildlife. Among the forests and mountain cliffs, you may sometimes spot macaques moving through the landscape. They're a small part of the ecosystem, but they add something special to the experience. A reminder that these mountains aren't just beautiful places for people to visit, they are also living environments. And perhaps that is why Zhangjiajie feels so different from an ordinary tourist attraction. You can look up and see a mountain disappearing into the clouds, look down and find a river winding through the valley. Turn around and find visitors quietly taking photographs. And somewhere among the trees, you might even see wildlife moving through the forest. Everything feels connected.
And then winter arrives. The same mountains that look deep green and dramatic in warmer months can become almost completely transformed by snow, frost, and mist. The sharp sandstone pillars become covered in white, the forests take on a quieter appearance, and clouds drift between the peaks like a soft blanket.
For a moment, the landscape feels almost frozen in time. But perhaps that's the real beauty of Zhangjiajie. It doesn't have just one face. In summer, it can feel alive with color, movement, and visitors. In the clouds, it can feel mysterious and almost otherworldly. And in winter, it can become quiet, cold, and breathtakingly surreal. Whether you're watching the mountains from a distant viewpoint, traveling above the valleys in a cable car, climbing toward Heaven's Gate, walking among the forests, or simply standing still and watching the mist move between the peaks, Zhangjiajie has a way of making you feel very small. Not insignificant, but connected to something much larger than yourself. A landscape shaped over millions of years, now shared with people from all over the world. And maybe that's why, after seeing Zhangjiajie once, it's so difficult to forget. Because some places are beautiful in photographs, but a place like this looks almost impossible until you see it for yourself.